All right, fam. Quick video on how to rebuild a power steering pump for an MEL Lincoln from 43462 from 1961 through early 1968. Mid 1968 through 1969, they start switching to the 460 engine, and that has a different power steering pump. So this is strictly for this one. So really easy. It's just remove all these bolts here. Then you're gonna need to pry this top piece out. Now, be really gentle. You don't want to damage anything on the inside. That is not the area that's gonna stop you from taking this thing out. There's some friction in here, so just spray some WD-40 right in this edge here, and eventually you're going to pry it out. Okay. This is how it looks once it comes out. The next step is to remove these two screws, and the top piece will come off. All right, so there's going to be 4 rings. There's one right here, one right here. That's 1, 2, 1 right there. And the 4th O-ring, which some people replace and some don't, is going to be in here. So what you're going to do is you need to tap that pin out. Then there are some grooves in there. Use a flathead screwdriver, pull that silver thing in the back, and let it spring forward. And eventually it will knock out that cap there. It'll bring that cap out. Then you can take the whole thing out, replace your O-ring in there, put it back in, tap it in and far enough to where you can put the pin back in, and that will replace that O-ring there. Once you take the 2 screws out, it's going to come up like this. Okay. There's one more piece. These 2 things separate. All right. They're going to separate. This piece is going to separate from here. Some of you, when you take this off, this piece is going to be still stuck in here. This whole power steering pump was already loose, and so that's probably why everything dropped out really easy. Notice these 2 pins. Do not lose them. Do not lose anything. Work on a surface to where you can keep track of where everything's at. What we do is just rinse these down with carb cleaner or whatever cleaner you have, metal cleaner material you have. Rinse them down really good. And then the next step is do not damage anything on this backside here. Keep a close eye. There's a pin right in there, right where my thumb's at. So keep a close eye for that one so that you don't lose that part either. Now, the typical kit will come with these 2 shaft seals. This is the real tricky part. This is where it's going to make or break your pump working correctly or not. But before I get there, really quick is do a quick observation and observe and make sure that, if this thing has been burnt out, everything's still smooth. There's no scuff mark that this thing ran dry. In my case, this particular pump, check out the backside here. There, a crack right there. See that? See that crack right there? So this one's no good unless I can find a replacement piece, that piece right there. So this is now my parts pump. Let's see here. All right, getting back into the shaft seal. The kit will come with 2 of these. Be really careful. Watch the height of these, and I'll get back in a second. Some have a taller side profile. Some have a lower side profile. I like the ones with the lower side profile. I'll try to post up the parts number for you. But this one, usually they have a part number. This one, they don't have it. The popular one is the one sold by Mark II. It's called SKF, Chicago Rawhide. And I'll post the part number for that one. Now, what you want to do is get a screwdriver, tap the old ones out. Use a 1 5/8 socket to tap these in. Now, because the ones with a taller side profile, once it stopped going in, it's not going to go anymore. And if you try to pound on it, you're going to dent the top, and that's going to stop this whole seal from working, and your power steering pump will never work properly. There's a spring on the inside here, in the middle, in that groove there, that keep the seal to work. That makes the seal work properly. So just tap it down, don't force it, and you're good. Now the new ones, they come with this thing here. This is the kit by Samsung, sold for $32 by Rock Auto, but sold for $100 to $150 by our favorite online Lincoln parts specialist. You go figure. This piece here is new for the kit, and it's gonna be right in there. Here's another one. It's right here. I replaced it, although I don't think you need to replace it. Just look at it, examine it, make sure that it's not damaged, and if it looks fine, I would just leave it alone. This one here, I put a new. I used a shop press to put a new one in, and then I had a hell of a hard time fitting that thing there inside this thing. And so I'd say just skip it because I've rebuilt a few pure power steering pump without having that little piece there, and we did just fine. Once you clean everything up, then you can start putting them all back together the same way you took it out. And just remember to, do your where all your O-rings go. Okay, good luck. Lastly, when you kind of put this thing on, remember on one side there's a big gap between the two holes. On the other side there's a small gap between the two holes. Now for the stud, it goes into the smaller hole. The bigger hole is reserved for the screw. That will help you get this thing at the smaller goes inside the stud, and bigger goes in is reserved for the screw.